We kick off this project with the foundation in mind, as all our good projects start. And this awning that we're creating is for the homeowner to put his outdoor items like his barbecue or his braai, as we call them in South Africa, just so that it doesn't get beat on by the sun and the rain. Here is one of the posts that'll go in the right hand corner. We'll have a second post in the middle, and then of course we'll have the final post on the other end on the left hand side. And these posts are approximately 2 meters from the wall behind and about 6 meters wide. It'll span the entire construction. So that's about 12 square meters, and for that means we need to have strong foundations, and that's exactly what we're pouring. But this was quite a challenge, as you'll see in a second. We dug these about half a meter deep and about 30 to 40 centimeters wide as well. And we did it in the pouring rain because we just rocked up on site and literally 30 minutes later it started pouring down. So we had to throw up this tent, thanks to the homeowner, who actually had a supersized tent, which helped quite a lot. But once we got the concrete foundations in place, we plumbed it off with a couple of lateral wooden braces just to help it cure overnight, which helped out quite a great deal, and that allowed for the project to continue, which is always a good relief. Here's a closer view at one of the timber posts going in with a concrete foundation. Now these are CCA treated timber posts, so they are rated for use in ground. And of course you see that mortar mix quite wet. Usually we'd like it more of an oatmeal consistency, a bit drier. But obviously because of all the rain that just came down, it is much more wet. But in fact we cleared out some of the excess water before allowing it to cure up. And here's the corner post that you saw a short while ago. And no, it didn't just change miraculously from brown to black. We actually painted it with a timber preservative called Creosote, and that just protects it from any decay and rot and wet elements like we're having today, in fact. So it's oil-based, smells quite lovely, but it does a great job of protecting your timber for years to come, and you probably need to apply it maybe once or twice a year, so not too much in the way of maintenance. A huge thank you to this episode's sponsor, Tube Mastery and Monetization, an online guide to grow and monetize on YouTube that shows you a complete A to Z guide and step-by-step instructions on how you can grow your YouTube channel to make money online. Started by none other than Matt Parr. He is super successful with 9 different YouTube channels, a couple of silver play buttons and a gold play button for over 1 million followers. If you want to know how to be successful on YouTube, go and click the link down in the description box so you can get started. But now let's get back to the video. Whilst the timber posts are curing up overnight, we can turn our attention to the rest of the structure, and in particular the ribbon plate. Now this plate will go against the back of the wall and is the main structural component. As you can see, that faint pencil mark, that's the bottom of where this ribbon plate will be attached. So after we've marked out and drilled the holes, we offer it up to the wall and also mark on the wall where those holes will be. That's very important in order for the bolts to correspond and go in straight. As you can see, we are drilling level into the wall so that you don't have any alignment issues. Now we're going to be using a metal expansion bolt. We'll flash up a picture just to explain exactly what it looks like. Now, if you want to know how to use an expansion bolt, go and check out one of our shorts on the channel where we explain it in more detail. But in summary, it comprises 2 components, which is obviously the bolt itself, and on the back end, the bolt goes into a metal wall plug. Now, you're going to dismantle the 2 pieces apart and then put the bolt through your wood and then attach the expansion plug at the back and tighten, just hand tight, not too much. But that way it'll allow you to insert the bolt into the wall and not lose your expansion plug, and then allow you to tighten it up securely. And that's the correct way to actually utilize a Rawl bolt or expansion bolt. We repeated the same with the second ribbon plate, which is now attached to the carport, and we'll show you that in more detail in a second. And here is a view of the front ribbon plate. This was a 6.6 meter span, which we cut down to size. and you can see it's beautifully level. We've just used some quick clamps to hold it in place because we've got to cut the post down to the right size. But you can see visually it is parallel to the back ribbon plate for both of them, front and back, which is always a good sign. Now here we've drilled the holes where each of the bolts will go through, and then obviously marked onto the carport and drilled right through, and then secured them from the back with a few washers and nuts. Similarly to the front ribbon plate, which you can see me bolting up here, we've used some cup bolts that go through from the front and then are secured nicely from the back, and we've had to trim off this post to the right height. So that takes care of the front and back ribbon plates, but now for the side we cut at the correct angle once we've measured out and marked, and we're just trimming off the ends here so that it fits quite nicely to the rest of the framework. Now because we're exposing this edge over here, it's a good idea just to touch up with a bit more of that creosote just to seal this exposed end, which you'll see in a second, just so that it avoids any rot or decay. And then we can go ahead and offer it up to the rest of the structure now with our back ribbon plate in place, as well as our front ribbon plate secured. We can mark it up and secure it together, and we'll obviously touch up this end as well. Next up, we can add the additional rafters in the middle of the back and front ribbon plates, and you can see we've secured it with a few screws into the framework before utilizing these V-shaped truss hangers to permanently secure it in place. And these are quite nice because they offset the black timber with this galvanized steel look, which matches the rest of the securing bracketry. One thing you want to see on the roof is that this line is parallel, and here's a view from the front. Now also keep in mind this fence to the right will be coming down after we're done with the project, so although it is existing, it will be in the way. And of course, polycarbonate sheeting goes up next. Here's a view of how we got started, and I absolutely love this stuff because it is a beautiful white translucent color which allows light in but keeps shade, and it has ultraviolet properties that last for 7 years. So I'll leave a link down in the description box so you can find out where you can get this as well. And we obviously just applied that to the entire roof and secured it using galvanized roofing screws with gaskets. That's very important so that you don't drill through it and create water leaks all over. Here's another view of the polycarb sheets a bit further along. So we line them up and overlap them by 1 or 2 layers. Obviously put silicone in between, secure them with those roofing screws. And we've just got this section to finish up, so let's get to it. Onto finishing, and we simply trimmed off the excess polycarbonate by measuring out about 10 to 15 centimeters overhang and trimmed that off with a cutoff wheel, cleaned it up, and then cleaned off the rest of the polycarbonate sheeting before wrapping this baby up. Congratulations if you made it this far. You are part of the Watch to the End Club. Yay! Now we finished this project. The homeowner was delighted, gave us a sterling recommendation as well, and I hope you enjoyed it too. If you did, please go ahead, like and subscribe, as well as go and share this with someone who might want to do something similar. Until next time, we'll see you on Nail and Screw.